The most informative take in boxing. Just remember where you heard it first, man. We had an amazing fight last night, man. From over in the UK, man. It's a packed house, unbelievable card. Again, thank you to your excellency, Turkey Al Sheikh, man, doing big things in boxing. And that was just yeah, that's my guy right there. Add him on. There we go.
Yo,
There we go.
hear me?
Yeah, Slim is another great night of boxing, man. Brought
Well,
to you by yours truly, and man, it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint, man. What was your take on the come out? You feel me? His father made it there. You feel me? Senior made it, and Senior stole the show, man.
he
The
a
light
showman.
and camera was out.
Hey, he a showman. I feel
Yeah,
like I feel like that gave Junior the extra push he needed to get through that fight mentally. I think his dad showing up really did something for him mentally. Like your daddy there, you know, we all got dads, right? But when
yeah,
your
yeah, 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 yeah.
dad up, you got to show out.
Most definitely, man. I think that definitely played a part. I think that definitely played a part, man, because his aura is so strong. You feel me? And
Right,
I think, like you said, Junior really fed off of that. He fed
right.
off of that. But surprisingly, man, I think that egg really threw kind of being off early. You saw those first 2 or 3 rounds, he just stuck to what he was doing. And that was just trying to get him out of there. I thought he approached that a little bit too aggressive. And I think he wasted a couple rounds trying to find that home run. And he struck out, Slim.
He was looking for the home run instead of touching the bases. He should have been touching the bases and sticking to the basics like
Right.
Eubank. Because in the first round, I felt like Eubanks was like kind of slow. He wasn't really all the way there yet. I think the worst thing Conor Ben did was let Eubanks find his rhythm and see like you cannot think me in here, and if you cannot think me, you can't beat me. He just fought. I think he fought a brilliant fight, and he was like me. He wasn't even 100% in the ring, so he used his mind more than he used his physical.
And I think when he looked back at it, I think that part surprised him more than a lot. He was able to really dig deep, but have a process of what he was trying to do. He knew he couldn't spin. He couldn't spin himself early, and he
Yeah,
calculated. Really thought because normally he's the one that's aggressive
right.
and really trying to get a guy out of there, but he mastered control. He had to really contain himself, and he started boxing, something that I don't even know he thought he can do as well as he did
Right.
last night.
I think that showed a very intelligent side of Eubanks. Like, I'm the bigger guy, but I ain't gonna come out here and try to bully this guy right off the bat. He didn't do that. You know what I mean? I think he knew where he was in the fight at all times, and he didn't waste nothing. Like, he wasn't wasting nothing by trying to land nothing big. Like, he wasn't trying to impose his will on him from the sound of the bell. Like you said, he thought his way through the whole fight, and once he got that jab working, everything else fell in place.
Came together. Everything else came together. I think it was probably round 4 or 5. I think Ben realized that, hey, this guy ain't meeting me in a fight. This guy boxing me. He's boxing my head off, actually. You feel me? And I think that surprised Conor Ben. And then it wasn't until I think after the midway point, Conor started, changing his style up a little bit where he wasn't really loading up as much. And then you saw he had some success down the stretch. But I think if he, hindsight is always 2020. I think once he put this fight under a microscope, he gonna realize, man, that maybe I approached this thing a little bit too aggressively in the beginning, in the opening stanza, and he didn't really get anything for it.
I
Slim,
think
he didn't get nothing for it.
I think he exactly like you said. He started finding out that I can't fight this guy and win. I got to box a little bit more. But Eubanks was already in too good of a rhythm. He already had him. He already had him defeated mentally. He already had him because you think about when that fight really got to the meat of it. Ben started catching Eubanks with some shit. You see what I'm saying? But every time he did that, Eubank stayed calm and collected, and he'll score back. He'll score back. He never let him get too far ahead in a round, let
Right,
alone let.
even the rounds that you could have gave to Conor Ben, he didn't win. I don't think he won one round clearly and decisively where you say, okay, he dominated that round to that degree.
Right.
Chris Eubanks Jr. always stayed close, and when he got caught or when he did get hit, he always, like you said, he answered back. I think that was one of his strategies. He didn't want to let Conor Ben get away from him, so he stayed right in his grasp, man, and that was smart, man. Like you said,
Yeah.
I think when you look at how Chris Eubanks usually approaches fights more with his heart,
Right.
I think he really translated that to his head, and he outthought this kid. He outsmarted this kid. He used this experience on Conor Ben. Before you know it, Conor Ben was needing something big
Something big.
because Chris Eubanks had pretty much put him behind that 8 ball. He really did, man. He outsmarted him that night. He outsmarted him, man.
He used his heart to keep him on his feet, but he used his mind to win the fight. Like when you go back and watch the fight, at the end of every round, Chris Eubanks was making sure he finished every round.
He finished it.
He finished every round. See what I'm saying? So when Conor Big did have, when he's had some success, Chris Eubanks will come back and take that back. Every time.
Most definitely.
Always knew where he was in the fight. He just showed that it's experience factor at this level.
At this level, exactly. It's more ways to skin a cat.
Hey,
it's more ways to skin a cat.
Hey, champ, me just talking shit. I told you, the DNA favor the Eubanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. And also, with all things being considered, you got to go with the bigger guy. Right. You know what I mean? I thought maybe that weight loss could have probably brought this fight a lot closer. You know what I mean? But he allowed, like you said earlier, Chris Eubank Jr. to get into his groove, to get into that boxing mode where he wasn't really expending a lot of energy. Like I said live, it was the 7th, 8th round, and he still hadn't broke out in a sweat. Right. He still hadn't broke out in a sweat. And that just goes to show you he was still dry on fluids. He hadn't really fully, you feel me, I would say replenish all the way because there was no sweat coming out his pores.
Yep. He
late in the fight.
Hats off to Conor Ben, like just like you say, to fight a bigger guy and really just he was never defeated in the fight, but he was definitely outsmart and like you said, out hustle. Because Eubanks fought from a distance when he needed to, and he got with him on the inside when he needed to. Okay,
he put him back on the ropes. You feel me? He was getting a little tired. He used his body when he needed to. And I think that time when he had him on the ropes, almost about a good minute in that, what was it, 9th, 10th round? And I think that, he kind of sealed the deal. And as long as he stayed on his feet, didn't get knocked down or nothing, he knew he pretty much locked it up right there. You know what I mean? But he still pressed in the end. He pressed, you feel me, Conor Ben in the end just to let him know. You feel me? It can get reckless in here. He almost clipped Conor Ben a couple times late. And when he was just letting his hands go.
Conor Ben hurt him. I think Conor Ben hurt him with one punch. But as soon as that happened, he stayed right there in front of him and let him know, like, it ain't going to happen like that. You ain't going to get it you ain't going to get it in one punch. That's what I felt like he let Conor Ben know. Like, it ain't going to happen with one punch, bro.
You're going to have to earn this, work this. Yeah, you're going to have to earn this.
You're going to have to work. He just fought smart, bro, to say the least. Like, he was using his jab, and every time that left hook and that uppercut, he ran him into that stuff. He didn't go looking for it. He just let it come. He walked them into all that shit. And it looked good.
Ropes, about the 12th round was the round of the year so far. That 12th round was the round of the year. I thought Ben was that close from landing something that could have really changed it. But again, hats off, you know what I mean, to you, Eubank, man. It was that rival, that bad blood, bro. 30 years.
Dead till he dead, bro.
Huh?
A man ain't dead until he dead.
Dead. Yeah, you can't never count a fighter out, bro.
Because
never count a fight out.
It was some rounds. I'm looking at Chris like, this motherfucker on fumes, boy. Like, but he wouldn't go down. He wouldn't go down. even if you look at, I forget what round it was, they was against the ropes, and Ben kind of laid on him. He could have went down, you know what I'm saying, on his knees for the fact that Ben was laying. He stayed up. That said a lot to me. Like, I ain't gonna let you see that I'm depleted in here. I might be, but you ain't gonna see it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He
It's,
fought with a lot of heart, man. I
boy,
thought that it would affect him, but it did affect him because he knew he really couldn't spin himself. He need to fight a controlled fight, disciplined fight. You feel me? And unlike Conor Ben was reckless in the beginning. He burnt a lot of energy. Those
wasted.
first 4 or 5 wasted a lot of energy missing with those big shots. And before you know it, and when he realized, hey, when he got a little tired, he got a little spent, he started going to the body, but he never finished up top with a hook. You feel me? His footing was a little bit off. It seemed like he's throwing a little bit too hard every time. And if you go back and look at that, he can clean that up, man, a little bit. But it's not guaranteed that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to fight the same fight, because now he understands,
Right.
I can think my way through this. I can adapt. I can, you feel me, react to what's going on in front of me. I'm not pigeon-toed to a style. You feel me? I can use whatever advantages I have at that moment to give myself an advantage. So he could be a more wiser, smarter fighter. They might have to get ready for more than just his emotional and his physical. They're gonna have to get ready for a thinking, calculating Chris Eubank Jr., because now he's at that level.
He on the high right now. Like he said he knew he had that in him. It just hadn't been brought out, and he didn't think. And Conor brought it out of him. So if they fight again, I'm going with Eubanks again. But to that point you just made, if Conor Ben would have went to the body early on in the fight, we would see a different fight.
It would have been a different fight. And that jab happened to his jab, Slim. What happened to
there?
Conor Ben's jab? I mean, that's why he was never able to hit him with the big shot. He was supposed to be boom, 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 pressing, pushing him back with that jab, then slamming that right hand hook in there.
The times that he did box in spurts and 1-2, he found success, but he didn't keep it up. Eubanks, no matter what Conor landed on him, he went back to that jab. He went back to that motherfucker.
He fought a very disciplined fight. Very disciplined fight. And I think that
really emotional at all. Being emotional from the sound of the bell.
And that's because I told you in Tarver's Take, he was so anxious to get that get back. It took him 4 or 5 rounds to realize, hey, man, I'm getting outboxed now. Let me get in the fight. You feel me? And, maybe his trainers or something should have saw that early on. He needed to calm down. I knew it, bro, because I saw how he was approaching it at the weigh-in. He was on tilt. He was on tilt, and he never really gathered himself until about the 7th or 8th round. And that was unfortunate. He got outfoxed. He got outfoxed by Chris Eubank Jr., and that egg had everything to do with it, man. Yeah. And who knows? Chris probably knew he needed Conor Ben to be off his square. He needed Conor Ben to be aggressive and reckless early, and it played right into his hands. And I think that won him that fight
because the whole egg experience, that was all calculation. He planned that. You see how he did it. He did
it on that, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So he knew this gonna get this guy, his inexperience and his immaturity is gonna play against him. If I do this, I got him on fight night, and it worked.
Yeah, even if it was 3, 4 rounds, that was enough head start to really survive and
kill him. He came in loading up, like just loading
everything.
He never came in. He didn't have a game plan. He played into what his dad said. It ain't going past 6. He gonna knock him out. He been beating up big guys in sparring. He took that in the ring. Eubank took skill in the ring, experience in the ring. Whatever he come with, I'm gonna have an answer for it. Then when he started getting out in front of him, he started stepping to him. That really changed the tune of the fight.
Most definitely.
So it was. I just love what he did. I love what Eubanks did, man. He fought a brilliant fight. he silenced a lot of critics and a lot of doubters.
And he
Talk,
won a lot of fans. He
yep,
won a lot of fans last night, as well as Conor Ben. I think, especially from this side of the fence, for as USA is concerned, I think, if that was the first time we were introduced to these two warriors, I think they won a lot of fans over here in the US. And what's next for these two warriors, man? We know, I believe, Chris Eubanks, if they don't do a rematch, and I don't know, I think both of them have really lit a spark in their career. When you look at what Conor Ben did, moving up 2 weights, it can only speak about his heart and determination. You feel me, as a fighter. But 147, man, there's some big names down there. And I don't know where I put Conor Ben, in the mix of all those top three, champions at the welterweight division. But
right.
he's in that mix. He's got to be somewhere in that mix. And right now, after this huge fight and all of this visibility that he received, that's a big fight for any of those champions right now. You know what I mean? So
I personally think if we're talking about what's in the best interest of both fighters, I think that Ben should go down and wait and fight. If we're talking about legacy, we see him do it again. What happens? What happens if they fight play out like their dad's fights played
a
out?
draw,
Go
they get
draw.
a draw the next time or something.
Dads never did a trilogy. Maybe they will. You see
Maybe a
what
trilogy
I'm
might be in their future. I just wish they were more in line with their weights. You
right?
feel me? Because we saw what happened to Chris Eubank Jr. with making the weight and all that, man. And I think, who knows? He did have to change his style, but maybe that was a good thing. He had to put that thinking cap on instead of just trying to break every door down. He showed that he had some layers and he had a bag with some tricks in it. You feel
Right.
me? He was able to get in his bag last night, man, and he became a better fighter. He grew right before our eyes. He even said that. And I think right now, if he would have fought like this, calculating, you feel me, plotting and strategically like he fought last night, I doubt it would be 3 losses on his record right now. I
Right.
really do. I really do.
Yeah,
So I don't know where he goes from here.
I don't like to see those fighters like I ain't like to see him struggling to make that weight like that. I think that put a fighter at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? However, I don't agree with one fighter coming in at one weight and another fighter coming in 50 pounds overweight. I don't want to see that either. But I mean, seeing the fight, how good the fight was, as a fight fan, you want to see it again. But I don't think you have to. I think both of them won last night.
True, true. I can agree with that. That's why I say they both lit a fire under their career right now,
Right.
especially Eubanks, man. Because when you look at it, he's a 168 pounder that possibly could move up to 75. And,
Right.
and you know what I mean? He did win last night. He looked impressive winning. So you know what I mean? That puts him right there in the sweepstate. You
Right.
feel me?
Right.
If anybody, he can knock on Canelo though. You feel me? Before Canelo get out of there. You feel
Now,
me? Saul, yeah, we got to do that. We got to do that breakdown too. Coming up, Skull and Canelo. I'm gonna probably drop that early in the week next week. You feel me? And then we got to get ready for Fatal Fury, New York, Times Square. So
like all
talk take. We're gonna be busy. We're gonna
I
be
like
busy
all
in the
three
next
of
couple
those.
of weeks.
I like all three of those fights, champ.
Can't wait to discuss
I
it. Hey, I got a Tarvis take out about Fatal Fury right now. Is one of my best takes, man. But it was a little distorted. You know what I mean with the video. It didn't come out as crystal clear as this one. So I kind of it's not really getting the response I thought, but the
I like I
information,
like hey, I like when you do your takes closer to the fight.
right?
Because you be having it. It's crazy how you do that shit though, bro. Like if you do a fight, you might go 2 weeks out. You come in a week or half a week before the fight. You got a whole nother take, and that shit. You did it with this fight. You was like, man,
Right, right, yeah. So what you seeing? 2-3 days before the fight, do the take. Only
shit.
2 or 3 days.
When you did your first take on this fight, it was like, but then when you came back, you was like, man, Chris Eubanks, man, after watching him, like, this motherfucker can fight. Like, I don't
Right.
know.
Energy. He had that energy.
You say he got that energy. This motherfucker can fight. This motherfucker can fight. And he went out there and showed he can fight.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Come in with that energy and use his mind, his skill set. We saw it happen like that. Yeah, you got the most informative tape. I'm gonna give you that. You feel me? But I like to see you break them fights down when they closer to the fight. When you get to see the intensity of the fighter, the mindset of the fighter as the fighter.
Right, that weigh in. Right after the weigh in, they under
Right.
the microscope.
Right.
Once I see that weigh in, I'm good to go. You feel
Because
me?
people that if they understand boxing, they gotta understand that shit play a major factor. That
You
shit
got to
play,
see how they look in the skin. You got to see how they look in the skin, bro. That lets you know how the training camp went. You feel me? If they look good, you know they ready. You
right.
feel me? So a lot of that, you know what I mean? The energy, you see how they moving around, what they saying, how they, the vibration, what's coming out of their mouth, man. You know what I mean? That plays a big part.
Everything surrounding that night tells you a lot about how that night gonna play out. And like you said with this fight, that egg had a lot to do with how this fight played out. We
I
even
think
even when he got hit, we all human beings. We get hit with an egg, we might. But in this game, and this a thinking man's game. Most the casual fans they think boxing is more physical, more mental. So when he got hit with that egg and he was just like, "Arr!"
he carried that into the fight. He never really got off of that energy. He
yeah,
should have let that go, okay, but really stick to the game plan. And like you said, I don't think he fought with a game plan in mind those first 2 or 3 rounds.
you know what else I wonder too? His team and the people around him, like, this motherfucker hit you with an egg, you gotta kill him. If so, that hurt him. You know what I mean? When the advice should have been stay calm, stay cool, because really they should have knew he trying to get you off your game, and it worked. Even when you look at we watching the fight, right? When they look up at the screen and see Senior come in, they energy shifted a little bit. Like, whoa, this motherfucker here, yeah, he here. This is son
Right, right.
here. Like they when
For
they
real.
showed kind of being looking at that screen, it was like a look of concern, like, oh, he here, because that was the thing that they felt would play against Eubank, him and his differences with his dad. They thought that that would work against him, but when his daddy show up, like, nah, we won. This my son. It's like, well, we got to fight both of these motherfuckers tonight.
Right. It was personal then. It was personal then.
Ain't two
Serious.
against one no more. It's two. It's the even playing field now. You got your
Right.
I got my dad here. Let's see how this gonna go. Because we already know who the DNA say is the
Right.
guy.
Right. Yep.
And Chris Eubank Sr., what you call him?
What you mean?
What kind of man you say he is?
Oh, he's an eccentric type of guy. You feel me?
Yeah.
Old throwback. Old
He had
throwback. You feel?
he didn't have no look of concern or worry or none of that shit. I
Oh no,
love
but
how
that's
he got
his
in the
aura.
I
He
love how
always been like that, Slim.
right. I love how he
He
got in
don't
the
see nobody, boy. He don't see nobody, bro.
how he
You
got
feel?
Brace Connor and Nigel. Like I love that. And just I just think that completed Chris Eubank last night. I think that was the icing on the cake. That's what he needed to do what he did. I'm gonna show you I ain't no disgrace. I'm gonna show you that I can uphold the name and the legacy. And that's what he did. Cause boy, I mean, just think about if that fight would have went the other way. How would they be talking about? I don't think Conor Ben lost nothing in that fight.
No. Exactly. With him moving up
But if Chris Eubank would have lost, he would have lost a lot.
a lot. Yes, sir. Even if it turned out like that. If he
Yeah.
fought good, still, if Ben would have won, it would have took a hit to everything. The legacy, you feel me? It would have took a hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah,
But
but I
yeah,
like to see Ben with them welterweights, man. I
I'm,
mean, if one of those guys can give him a shot, Barrios, that'd be a hell of a fight.
I think I favor him over Barrios.
What?
Yeah, I favor Ben over Barrios.
You think Ben beat Barrios for the title?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. Ben is gonna be a better fighter after last night.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly.
I don't think Barrios, when Barrios fought at that level, he got outclassed. Ben didn't get outclassed last night. Barrios' biggest fight was who? Tank. A little guy. He couldn't do nothing with Tank. He couldn't do nothing with Tank. So I think that Ben, yeah, I favor Ben over Barrios. I could be wrong. Hey, it's on Tarver's
That's a
tape.
hell of a fight, though. It's a hell of a fight, especially with him coming off of this win.
I like Barrios. I just think that Ben is gonna be on a tear moving on from here. I think that Ben gonna go back and get all the way better. I think he gonna go and get his game all the way well rounded. He gonna become a complete fighter after last night. If you look at the look in his face, it was just like, damn. It was kind of like the look that Canelo had when he lost to Floyd. Like, whoa, it is levels to this shit. Like, damn, it's a lot more that I need to learn to be able to compete at the top level. So I don't think that. I think we already seen Barrios peak. You see what I'm saying? That's my
Right.
opinion. I think we already seen him peak. I like Barrios, but Ben Barrios, I'm going with Ben.
What about Ben Norman?
I don't really
That's
know. I don't really know a lot about Norman. I don't really know a lot about Norman, but Ben Barrios, I'm going with Ben.
check your camera, Slim.
Hold on, yeah, I see. Hold on. My camera went off. Hold on.
Getting ready to go up here to the parents' party for Derek Brooks' annual golf event tonight, man. Yeah, went off. There we go. Okay. Oh, add to the stage. There you go.
I'm back.
Yeah. So you heard me, man. We're gonna be at the casino for the Derek Brooks Golf Classic tonight. We doing a parents' party, man. We gonna be at OM tomorrow, hitting it around with the gang. You feel me? All the
Okay.
fellas. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I can't wait for
Yeah,
the.
bro, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you tapping in with me for the recap. Yeah,
For
I mean,
sure.
hopefully we educated a few folks tonight.
Hey,
And
everybody that's watching this Tarver's tape, if you bet, which have most of the world do, if you want to make the right bet, go look at Tarver's tape before you place your bet.
before the fight,
Before the fight.
do it before the. We can't
Before,
help you after the fight.
for
You can
sure.
get the recap.
For
You can get
sure.
the recap, but the breakdown where you know what I mean.
This the cheat
You get
code,
to
right?
see what's going on. You
This
get
the
this look inside that crystal ball like me. You heard me?
code right here. They ain't call him the Magic Man for nothing. Hey, I
For
learned
real.
that shit. Hey, I was totally against you, Spence Crawford.
Yeah.
And I said,
I had to
man,
stick to my gun. Y'all was trying to make me switch. Y'all was trying to make me switch sides, boy.
boy, I don't see how you call that to the T like that, boy. They got to go back. They got to go back and look at the fight hubs and the fight hypes and really see what your before assessment was, the before takes that you gave on that fight, and then they'll
Yeah,
understand.
I was so hell bent on that. I was convinced. I mean, I just look back at all of his fights, man. I saw a little bit of everything. I mean, when you look at a guy with a bag full, it's Crawford, bro. There ain't nothing he really can't do. And so, even move up and be the bigger guy, we gonna see. We gonna see can he do it. You know what I mean? I'm pulling for him. I mean, I just can't wait till they get closer to the fight. It ain't really even nothing to talk about right
Right,
now. We got to see.
yeah,
We got to
right.
see Canelo skull. That's gonna
Yeah.
show us a little bit more. Canelo skull gonna show us a little bit more. Even though I know that's gonna be a short breakdown. That ain't gonna be a long breakdown. That's gonna be about a
Canelo
good.
go upside his score. That's what's gonna happen.
Huh?
Canelo gonna go upside his score. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, for
Hey,
sure.
my word, catch a body. You heard me? Catch a body. This got Franklin written all over it. You heard me?
All right, I believe that. All right, my
Yeah,
man.
Kirkland. I mean, yeah, this guy, what's my man name? James Kirkland. This guy, James Kirkland, written all over it.
And Khan.
Yeah, yeah. That one too.
Yeah. That
Some of
boy.
those, some of Canelo famous knockouts. I think he got that type energy written over it. You feel me? Because I just don't see Skull when he didn't pass the eye test. You know, you can always go look at a guy record, and a guy could be 38-0. It don't matter. But when you look at him, the eye test, what is he doing? What does he have? What kind of skills and talent he bring to the table? He didn't pass the eye test for me. When you talk about fighting a guy that's undisputed and a guy that's, you know, as credentialed as Canelo, you feel me? Just having a belt, don't get it. Don't get it. You got to put that record under the microscope, and then when you do that, you got to look at him. And then if he didn't pass the eye test for me, he's not fast. He don't throw his punches in combination. He don't have the fleet of feet. He's not quick. So, you know what I mean? He's a basic fighter. And I just think when you look at it, I don't know how that's going to play out with Canelo. I don't want to say, you know, Canelo's stand on hurting this boy or ruin this. Some young men get ruined in one night. You can destroy a fight in one night. You feel me? By levels. By levels. Say it again.
Canelo got the ability to do it.
You feel me? When you put a guy in there that's just a regular fighter, basic fighter, a generic fighter, basically. You feel me? Nothing pops out. You feel me? I don't even know if he got a granite chin. So nothing really shows, nothing really pops out on the screen. He's there throwing his punches. He's there, but nothing exceptional that I see this kid is doing. So I just don't know what he's going to do to be able to prevent Canelo from having his way.
Just compete against somebody with that much experience.
Like, it's crazy, man.
But it is what it is. We'll see.
It is the business of boxing. You feel me? It's the business of boxing. You got to handle the business until you can get to the next stage. And unfortunately, Canelo got a little business in front of us.
You say the business of boxing. What a lot of these new fighters need to learn is the art of boxing.
Most definitely. It's a different game now. The art. That's that scientific form. The basics. You feel me? The fundamentals. And if you can master those, you can master this game, bro. I'm here to tell you. You can master this game. That's what I teach. Right. Skill set, balance. You feel me? I want to see what you react to your own. I don't want to have no training wheels on. I want you to be able to be free inside that ring to do what you can do.
So when you gonna start doing these virtual master classes?
Oh no, when we set it up, bro. When we set it up, you feel me? I got the student. So I got Kenzel Williams.
Give him hell.
What you say with a regular Joe Blow, huh?
Give him hell, Kenzel.
Give him hell, Kenzel. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Give him hell, Kenzel Williams. Yeah. We're gonna tell him he got that one on the table. He said 4K though. He said he going with 4K, but he hear that one. Give him hell, Kenzel. Oh man, that's a brand right there. That's a brand.
Hey, you got to think about it. If he trying to be great, what you want to hear him screaming in the audience? 4K or give him hell?
Give him hell. Give him hell, Kenzel. Give him hell, Kenzel. Yeah, be screaming all through the whole fucking arena. Give him hell, Kenzel. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yo. All right,
man. I'm gonna jump out of here, man. Hey, next up, Canelo Skull, the breakdown. And then Fatal Fury, Times Square, New York, man, next week. Can't wait. Who?
And you got Anyway.
Oh, yeah, Anyway in with a tough kid, man. I think we're going to learn a lot by Anyway. We're going to learn a lot by Anyway this weekend, too, next weekend. This kid, Cardenas, man, Ramon Cardenas, I wouldn't say upset alert, but just say live underdog. Just say live underdog, Slim. This kid, he has a lot of wrinkles. He got one loss on his record that I wasn't too high on. He got beat by a journeyman, and I'm talking about a real journeyman. It was midway through his career. But ever since then, he's faced 2 or 3 undefeated guys, took they O, and he's been into some real fisticuffs where he had to dig deep to pull off that win. But he got a left hand hook, bro, that he throws this hook. It's his patented shot. I think if Inoue coming here trying to bang this guy out, this guy might have an opportunity to bang with him. You feel me? Because that's right up his alley. I think Inoue gonna have to really, control this guy with his skill and boxing ability. You know what I mean? He might want to be careful when he in there trying to detonate, because this kid got a mean counter left hook, bro, that I believe if he hit anybody with it flush, they're going to be hurt. So be on the lookout. Anyway, it's must-see TV. We're going to see what all of the pandemonium is all about. You feel me? If he can really, you feel me? We're going to find out if all the hype is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I mean? So I think this guy's a sneaker, man. He's a sleeper. And if Inoue ain't really dotted his I's and crossed his T's, man, we know he's suspect with the chin. He get dropped. You feel me? He can get dropped with a shot. You feel me? One guy that he fought early, I forget his name, Nary dropped him. You know what I mean? So we're going to see, man. Cardenas, Ramon Cardenas, 27 years old, 26-1 with 14 knockouts. And I'm telling you, he passed the eye test. So I like the little kid.
All right, how you say it on here? Stay tapped in.
Yeah, stay tapped in.
I'll holler at you.
Stay tapped in. I'll holler at you, Slim. Stay up, bro. Appreciate you.
All right.
My man. That's Slim God right there, man. That's my boy. That's my brother. So, I like the recap. Inoue coming up. He's fighting a tough kid. And I'm going to give you Canelo's skull next week, early by Wednesday. And then I'm going to give you Fatal Fury, New York, Times Square, all coming up, man. Thank you, guys. Until the next time, stay tapped in. I'll talk to you then.